I mean, has there ever been a Modern format where Jace would be exceptional? Like, I've been playing Modern for, you know, going on 5-6 years, and the format's always been about having, what's the word I'm searching for? The format's always been about board presence and not about incremental card advantage over a long game. So definitely need to draw some lands with this hand. One of the things that is interesting is the fact that this deck is playing copies of Tasigur, but it's not playing any copies of Thought Scour. What about Eternal Command? All right, I definitely don't want this. I think I'll take another land. Another blue source turns my Logic Knot on, which is nice. Misty Rainforest could be a plethora of things. When Pod was legal, maybe? I mean, when Pod's a deck that plays to the board, right? Jace in these control decks isn't good when your opponent's playing to the board a ton. Kind of Bant strategy. Well, that makes this Logic Knot look truly poopy. Alright, play this. Oh, you know what? Maybe that was the wrong land to play. I don't know. I think someone play Botto, agreed. Tron. To be fair, we play Tron here occasionally. Opponent could be playing Bant Nightfall. They could be playing Kiki Chord. A lot of different things they could be. It could still be either of those things. This is probably going to be K Command, Shock, make you discard. This is Bolt. Nah, I'm probably in the market for a Bolt. Probably not flipping this soon anyways. If they have a Jace the Mind Sculptor next turn, Bolt lets me kill that. You discard, kill you. Maybe Dimir Spy. Like, again, I'm just like, I'm apprehensive because, again, like, Modern's never been a format where the style of card where Jace would be good is amazing. Like, it's a fine card, but, like, it's not like the busted must kill, this is going to take over the game all on its own type card that people, like, baited out to be, that they thought it was going to be format ruining or warping or whatever you want to call it. I have no idea. This isn't my deck list. I love that command. Alright, so this turn we can bolt the Voice of Resurgence and then hold up Logic Knot. We could also bolt the Voice, play Tasigur. That's probably a little bit better actually, right? Just like get some presence on the board here. They discarded a Path, so they might not have another one. What's going on, Rossum? No, I actually don't want to put that in the bin, right? Okay, so now do I want to... I could bolt this and then snap bolt the Pride Mage, potentially. I definitely want to bolt this. The question is, like, what do I want to do with the rest of my mana here? We're at 12, so, like, using my health total as a resource is becoming a little bit less appealing. I think I'm just going to pass the turn here and, like, hold up this Logic Knot. I think I just want to play Logic Knot this turn / have the option to snap bolt. I have 2 cards left. Yeah, I think getting value on this Logic Knot's pretty reasonable. This is a little bit of an awkward tension too, because, like, this Tasigur makes this Logic Knot more awkward, which sucks. Scavenging Ooze. Yeah, I pretty much have to counter that one, right? Otherwise, it's gonna, like, make all my other stuff much worse. And, like, here, I, like, have to use my entire graveyard here, basically. So, like, now my Tasigur is pretty far off of working. Reflector Mage, okay. Alright, well, that's the last of their cards, so... we're probably going to be binning most things for this Tasigur here, just to, like, get him into play as a board presence. Cryptic Command. That's pretty good. Nah, we're gonna draw that one. I think we're just gonna do the old time walk draw. I haven't played Paper Magic in a long time. Usually I joke around a bit while I play. Magic's about having fun, right? Like, if I can't joke around and bullshit, it's less enjoyable for me. Am I supposed to tap draw, or am I supposed to bounce tap? I think I'm supposed to bounce tap, actually. I think I'm supposed to, yeah, I think I'm supposed to tap bounce, I agree. Return and let's make sure I click the right one. Return target permanent, tap all. Yeah, I just need to like deal with this elemental. That's good. That could have gone a little poorly if they had like a path to exile and path their own voice. Hopefully their follow-up here isn't too scary. Another Scavenging Ooze is really fucking bad for us. Is pretty exceptionally bad for us. Let's get rid of that one. I'm not just dead if I do this, but we're getting pretty close to dead here. They want to pressure us, they're gonna have to trade a creature off. I guess this is bad because they have enough. They have 3 creatures. I guess they could put us to 1 with the Scavenging Ooze. So they can make the Scavenging Ooze a 5/5 and then Exalted attack for 6/6. Whoa, what? Seriously? Oh, this attack is good because I have to chump the Scavenging Ooze. Yeah, I have to chump the Scavenging Ooze, right? Yeah, we're pretty dead here. The third Scavenging Ooze just a little bit too much for us, I think. And like our best draw would be like a Fatal Push, but our mana is really awkward, so I can't snap push this turn. Yeah, I think it kind of like, I feel like it should be implied that when you're talking about the power level of card, it's supposed to be contextual. And like, I couldn't take that Sulfur Falls and snap Cryptic Command because again, there's the Scavenging Ooze in play. So just Scavenging Ooze was exceptionally good against what we had going on there. And again, like, it wasn't even just the Scavenging Ooze, just like the Logic Knot plus the Tasigur was just like super awkward. I feel like without the ability, without something like Thought Scour in our deck, it's kind of ambitious to support both of these cards. It's definitely feeling a little bit awkward so far. So Anger and Brutality both seem reasonable. Want to mostly play to the board here. I don't think I can afford to cut any of these. I need to actually kill my opponent. I think I need these brutalities. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. They have Mana Dorks, but this probably isn't good enough. It probably doesn't kill much outside of the Mana Dorks. I'm just gonna bring in the Angers and cut the Logic Dots. Yep. Basic Island Terminate. Let's go. The rest of this hand is reasonable, so we're gonna keep it. I think Azcanta's fine, especially on the play. Now the original Grixis Twin decks were pretty fine. I think they were. You could have made a strong argument when Grixis Twin was in the format that it was one of the better decks in the format. I'll take another cantrip there. That's probably fine. I'm gonna fetch a Blood Crypt tapped, I think, and then cast the Serum Visions. It's like a little bit awkward because I have this Cryptic Command, but yeah, E could maybe be okay. Like, what is it worse than though? kind of struggling to cut cards. Like, I don't think I can cut all my Azcantas because, like, I need things to win as I go long. Maybe Snapcaster Mage is the trim just because they have a plethora of Scavenge Ooze. We know they have at least 3 of them. I mean, like, all good decks are some of their parts, and, like, context really matters. Like the format that Jace was played in when it was dominant and standard wasn't as board presence or high power based as the current modern format. It's not even about fair matchups. Like, there's a bunch of fair decks that Jace isn't particularly good against. Jace is good against mid-range and long matchups, and that's the type of Magic Modern's never really been about. Modern's never really been about decks that want to get to turn 12. Modern's about decks that want to get to turn, what's the word I'm searching for? That want to get to turn, like, 6, 7, maybe. There's a lot of decks in Modern that only want to get to, like, turn 4. Maybe because I drew this other land, I'm supposed to... Definitely don't need... I guess Keek's okay, actually. I definitely want the land. I might have to shuffle that Kiki just because I have 2 fetch lands. We know they can't voice or Pride Mage this turn. The old turn 2 Birds of Paradise resolves. So I'm definitely playing this land. I think I'm just passing here. The question is, do I want to diddle something with this Pestermite? I probably don't. I think I'm just going to go ahead and pass here. And then I want to draw this Kiki-Jiki. And then hopefully we just, like, hit red and then get to, like, Pestermite on tap Kiki them. Although, if they're going to give us a chance to Cryptic this Collected Company, I'm going to Cryptic the shit out of this Collected Company. They could also be on Spell Queller. We'll see. Feels like the Coco, though, right? I'm going to fetch shock twice to counter this Collected Company. It feels like I am. Nah, I don't think so, Burgle. I think I'd rather Cryptic their Collected Company. I think I'd rather... Like, I don't have a guaranteed land. I think I need to fetch shock twice. I just, like, want triple red since I already have the Kiki. Puts my health total pretty low, though. So I can see that going either way. Alright. So you're saying there's a chance. Sure. Such a powerful magic card. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and crack this fetch for a Watery Grave. And then I'm gonna Fatal Push this Storko. And I'm gonna pass the turn. Hope they tap out. Can you articulate why you think I'm supposed to... Why you think I'm supposed to push there? Because I think I'd much rather... I think that pass is very obviously Cryptic Command, and I think I'd much rather... Or very obviously Collected Company. I think I'd rather Cryptic Command their Collected Company, right? So we'll see if they have a path here or a way to interact with her thing. That's unfortunate. Maybe because I know they have Reflector Mage, I'm just supposed to wait there. I could see that being the case. Terminate this. It looked really clunky and terrible. I don't know what his record was. If his record was fine, it's probably fine. Most things are fine in Modern, but it looked super clunky and awkward. I'm just gonna diddle their thing. Yeah, I'm supposed to play the Deceiver Exarch here. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to play the Exarch. Like, playing the Exarch tells them one more card in my hand, but the Exarch would be able to block this Reflector Mage, so, like, I've concealed information at the cost of taking 3 points of damage, which is probably not worthwhile. Just probably not worthwhile. I mean, if you take the best deck and shove 4 awkward cards into it, it's probably still a fine deck. Bomat Courier seems really interesting until you realize that there's Deathrite Shamans in the format and it's a 1-2. Like, Bomat Courier seems bad for the same reason Goblin Lackey seems bad. I need to play some games with it, obviously, but on the surface, it seems like it'd be kind of clunky and awkward. Alright, God, this is just so punishing. I was definitely about to say we're in the business of making them have it. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and attack them with this pester. Let's just do this. Let's just do this. They could have, so like, there's a couple lines here. I could have used the Exarch to diddle their island, so that way they can't unified will this. There's definitely merit to that. I'm also getting punished for having played the Pestermite over the Deceiver Exarch last turn. I chose not to attack with the Pestermite before casting the Anger in case the Anger doesn't resolve and I then need to chump block with the Pestermite. You wanna watch Go Choice? Right. There you go. Alright, I'm gonna put a stop on their upkeep here, and I'm gonna diddle their Temple Garden during the upkeep. Like the decks you really want the Bomat Courier effect against, they're going to have... The decks you want Bomat Courier's effect against are going to have Deathrite Shaman. Which one do you want, dude? You want Mini Force? You just said Power Rangers. So you want Mini Force or Power Rangers? Okay, there's Mini Force. Alright, so... Do I want these EEs, or the search for Azcanta's too slow? Maybe that's the case. I feel like I don't want to draw 2 of these ever. I'm just gonna go 1-1. Let me tell you about these basic islands in my Terminate deck. Let me tell you a story, chat, about my basic island Terminate deck. Hey, yes, it's fine. Yeah, ain't no basic islands in this hand. Terminate's great. I agree. The card choice command is just A+. Just A+. Alright, I'm gonna push that one off a cliff. And grab a Blood Crypt here so we can set up to cast Kiki-Jiki if we find it. Just get you. That doesn't cast Voice, that's good for us. Scavenging Ooze, that's fine. It's a decent draw. I'm gonna shock this in and just terminate this dash so they can't eat my Fatal Push in response. And then next turn, we can snap push a 3-drop. Yeah, right, Burgle? We're just starting every game at like 16. We're starting every game at like 13. We're being realistic. Alright, I'm gonna fetch a blue here. I have 3 cards left. Let's see how good they are. And these stupid Pestermites in my hand, so... Yeah, I think the lack of a Cascade Bluffs in this deck is probably criminal. They're probably like, there's 3 Sulfur Falls, I think, so... We're gonna keep playing and get a better feel for it, but there should probably be one Cascade Bluffs over one of the Sulfur Falls. Voice of Resurgence, Negative the Reliquary, please untapped land, please untapped land. Everything sucks, chat. Everything sucks. It's a big night of the Reliquary. Searches an untapped land in Fort. You're technically correct, Burgle. Which one could almost certainly argue is the best kind of correct. I have to bin that, right? I just need a land. We tried. We tried. If only I would have had. If only I would have had Jace the Mind Sculptor. To move a deck to the top of the donation queue, I don't know. It depends on where it's at in the queue. Take a peek at the queue there. See what's where. Also, please remember that being at the very top of the queue doesn't guarantee you get played. If a deck gets past 50 points, it automatically gets played. But the queue is just kind of a reminder that I should play certain things sooner. There's still definitely preference and priority based on what I feel like playing. I think there's 23 lands in this deck, which is probably an appropriate number with 6 cantrips. Probably an appropriate number with 6 cantrips. I think I'm gonna time you out for being a typical Magic player. That's my favorite thing, but people, what's the best way to phrase this? Geez, we're gonna break and die again. Magic players love to like look at a thing they've never seen before or never played with and just go, you know what? This is bad. I definitely know this is bad. And it's like, well, this might be bad. It might be clunky, but the answer is I don't know if it's good, bad, or otherwise, because I don't like playing one match where I missed my 4th land drop to lose the 3rd game. Like that's not going to tell me what's good, bad, or otherwise about this deck. It's just not. Alright, Jeskai Control. What are we doing? This is probably like Freaky Kiki's out, right? You probably just want to grind. Yeah, you need some experience, right? Like, and that's part of the reason why so little innovation happens in Magic, especially in formats like Modern and Legacy, where they're more static, is people are they're very apprehensive about actually putting in the time to test things. And a lot of the time they're just like, well, I looked at this and I'm certain it's bad even though I have no experience playing with it. And it's like, well, maybe we should take a second and think about what we're doing and like actually play a few games and then we can accurately articulate why we think it's good, bad, or otherwise. I mean, if Magic players were good at looking at lists and predicting what was going to be good, bad, or otherwise, we'd have known Jace wasn't going to break Modern, right? Like, yeah, it might be bad, but like the games we just played are not like representative of why it's bad. Like the games we just played are like, all right, we cast some cantrips and missed on our land drops and like shit happens. Yeah, Kiki-Command's probably going to be good. It's going to rebuy Snapcaster Mage at some point. Look at these Sulfur Falls. Matrip, Sulfur Falls, Creeping Tar Pit. Nothing's ever coming into play untapped ever. What's going on, Angry Penguin? Thanks for hanging out. This is my tar pit. My tar pit doesn't bring my Sulfur Falls into play untapped. Just the 4x Guildgate start. I mean, imagine if one of these was a Cascade bluff that would come into play untapped. It would come into play untapped. Snapcaster Mage. Interesting. That's so aggressive. That's so aggressive. You're in a control mirror and you're just gonna like turn to a Snapcaster Mage. Maybe they assume I boarded out most of my removal. I guess I did board out a lot of my removal. Well, we've been had. We gonna die. I'm not playing Legacy today, McBurr. I'm not playing Legacy today. We've done like mono Legacy for like the last 2 to 3 days. If you bumped it over 50, it would be guaranteed the first Legacy deck we play next time. I've kind of been putting off Sneak and Show because I don't think Sneak and Show is a very good deck. I probably just shouldn't have taken it as a donation, but we're going to get to it at some point. Well, on a scale of 1 to dead, I believe we are firmly at the dead end of the scale. Sneak and Show is just exceedingly clunky in my experience. You're playing a deck that has effectively 16 combo pieces in it, or somewhere between like 14 and 16 combo pieces. And we're just super fucking dead to this Geist Saint draft. Use opt, find Force of Will, right? Yeah, so the Sneak and Show in my experience is clunky because you're this AB combo deck with really expensive cards in it that are hard to get out of your hands. Like, it's really easy to like draw too many Emmercools or draw too many Gristlebrands and not be able to find sneak attacks or show and tells. And like, you're a deck that's really susceptible to Wasteland because you need 2 colors and you're playing a bunch of soul lands. So like the Omni Show deck that we've played a couple of times in the last week, that deck felt like a much more smooth version of Sneak and Show to me, just because like you can board down Emmercools in the matches where they're really clunky, and like you don't have a bunch of sneak attacks, you get to play more cantrips, you get to play more basic lands. I mean, fair. We technically have a combo in our deck. RIP. Thanks for the bit, Shadowlon. Now this is a donation deck. I'm not going to be spending my own money to brew Modern until we get closer to Milwaukee. See, the donation queue is deep. How long am I streaming today? We're going to be streaming a bunch today, but I'm not going to be streaming for a super long time this morning. So this league looks like it's going up in flames pretty quickly. So we'll probably fire up another one after this. There's actually a Life SSBM with the 2-month Twitch Prime resubscription. Thanks for re-upping and welcome back. As always, subscriptions are the best way you can support my content here. There's actually a Restore Balance list in the queue. If you want to take a look at where it's at in the queue and how much it needs to get bumped up to be played sooner, you can use that donation queue command to take a peek at that. There's a lot of sweet decks in the queue. I actually never really played these Grixis decks. I don't know, I'm not a huge fan. Like, I never played Splinter Twin when it was legal. It just wasn't the style of deck I liked. Like, it isn't the Kiki-Jiki in the Kiki chord that I like. It's the What's the word I'm searching for? It's the creature combo toolbox aspect from Kiki-Jiki that was always appealing to me. Bolt's a good name there, just like a 4 of that we're certain to have. It's a fatal push though, quite excellent. There is a deck name in the stream title. There's a deck on your screen on the deck list button. If you're on mobile, you could type !deck in chat. There's so many ways for you to help yourself. Alright, so we just get to like push this Meddling Mage off a cliff and then lightning bolt this Mantis Rider. That sounds pretty decent. So end you. Split of removal there. I mean, the deck list that's in the queue is almost exactly the 5-0 list. It's very, very close. Yeah, when Dig was legal, that deck was fantastic, that's for sure. I actually tried to build with pieces of the puzzle last night, and that felt okay. I don't know if it was good, but it felt like fine, I guess. I'm gonna upkeep diddle one of their lands on the off chance it like keeps them from playing something. I just don't have anything better to do, really. That's not how Modern works. Like, people don't pick up or change their decks by and large in Modern just because something did well at a tournament. Like, hey, Willem, with the 3-month resubscription. Thanks a lot for sending your Amazon fun money this way again this month, a quarter of a year. Welcome back. Modern decks are expensive to build, you know, relatively speaking for most people. There's also the investment of like having to learn how to sideboard and play efficiently with a new Modern deck. Like, people don't really just pick up and change the deck that they're playing because something did well at a tournament. It's not even about being good. Even like so Modern's not a format like Standard where the best deck in the format is light years better than the 10th best deck in the format. Like, Modern's a format where like the best deck in the format is very similar power level to the 20th best deck in the format. So like, there's something to be said about being familiar with the deck you're playing and knowing the ins and outs associated with a given deck, as opposed to trying to pivot decks week to week because you're chasing whatever won the last big tournament. You arguably give yourself less percentage points chasing a best style deck in Modern than you do just like playing the deck you're familiar and comfortable with. Alright, probably just gonna diddle this Mantis Rider here. Save ourselves 3 points of health. But you're just like, you're not gonna get that in Standard. Like expecting there to be 15 different decks in Standard is unrealistic. Like, that's not what Standard is about. Standard's not about having 15 decks in the top 16. Standard's a format that's supposed to be changing and having a few good decks in it. I mean, like, if that's what you're looking for out of a format, I think Standard's just like not for you, and that's okay. Like one of the great things about Magic and TCGs in general is that there's a lot of different formats that can appeal to a lot of different people in a lot of different ways, and you're never gonna get what you're looking for out of Standard if that's what you're looking for in a Magic format. I think a Standard format that has like 4 to 5 competitively viable decks, that maybe a couple of fringe decks that can like try and prey on those a couple of those decks is like a very reasonable spot for the format to be. So these Pestermites are pretty good against these Phantasmal images, so we got that going for us. Yeah, the opponent just missed points of damage there. Ah, the old turn 6 Aether Vial. You got me. So I'm gonna opt before I cast this Pestermite here, because if we opt into a Kiki-Jiki, I actually want to play this at end of turn. Lightning Bolt's pretty, or Snapcaster's pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna keep him, and then this Pestermite's gonna kill this Reflector Mage. That's a Phantasmal Image. I mean, why can you assume that? Why can you use your words? Why can you assume that? There's no colorless lands in this deck. There's a bunch of cantrips to help you find additional lands. Like, looking at my mana base, most of the games we've played, I've been able to cast triple blue and triple red spells. Like you're just like, again, you're like looking at the deck list, having played 0 games with it, and being like, well, this can't possibly work. There's no way you can cast spells with this deck based on my 0 experience. It's just like, well, maybe you should think about like what you're doing a little bit better. Like, actually, like, have some experience in the format, or have some experience with the deck, instead of just like assuming you're correct and whoever built this is wrong. And again, I'm not saying that it might be clunky, it might be awkward, but what I'm saying is, like, just looking at it and immediately dismissing it, you're not doing yourself a favor as a Magic player doing that. Like, something constructive, a constructive way to look at it is look at the mana and go, well, maybe this is a little ambitious, and we could play Cascade Bluffs to try and smooth it a little bit, or something along those lines. Be constructive. Don't just be like, this deck is bad and we should feel bad. Like, be helpful. Contribute. I only play bad, and like, so one of the things, like, I feel like Magic kind of attracts people like that. Because Magic has variance by design, people can always invalidate or like say someone else's opinion or experience doesn't matter, because like, well, they just gotten lucky their entire Magic career. They don't actually understand what they're talking about. So I think I actually want to try and clean up most of their board here. So what I'm going to do this combat is I'm going to Pestermite, untap one of my lands, and then I'm going to Snapcaster Lightning Bolt the Mantis Rider, and then I'm going to double block one of the Reflector Mages. So I'm gonna untap this Steam Vents. And then we're gonna go ahead and Snap Bolt the Mantis Rider. Well, we can't Snap Fatal Push. All these things cost 3, and I haven't had a permanent leave play, so I don't have Revolt. I agree, if I had Revolt, I'd prefer to Snap Fatal Push, but that's not currently an option. Yeah, and Search for Azcanta is a good example of like another way we have plenty of blue. But like, why? It's not constructive. You're just like saying the deck is bad that I have no experience playing with. That's why a lot of the time I don't make any changes to decks before I play with them. Unless there's something like glaringly wrong with the mana base, like they're missing a shock land of some sort, I usually just play them as is. Yeah, I agree, Bob. Especially like with this K-Command in my hand. Ooh, Exarch's great. Exarch just gets to bounce with this Reflector Mage for forever. Athalia? Smells like Athalia? Oh, it's a freebooter. Interesting. Alright, so I'm just gonna kill this and get my Snapcaster back, right? Yeah, I think, hey, regular size Jesse, Twitch thinks I should remind you of my stuff again. Apparently, that's right. It's like, I think I just saw that one, but it's there again. Well, thanks again. It's because you have the big sub. The big sub has to be reminded multiple times that you did the big one. We played Blue Red Delver again last night, by the way, if you didn't catch it. It's on YouTube now. That was the one you asked for, I believe, if I remember it correctly. I need to start writing them down. I need to start writing down who asked for what. Yeah, Exarch untap land K command. Yeah, maybe that would have been good. We'd have saved ourselves some points of health. Hey, Lenzonix with that Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. As always, subs are the best way you can support what I do here. Yeah, I think Chad is right that I should have played the Exarch and then done the K command. I was just talking to chat and didn't think about it as a line. This is going to be the first babysitter afternoon. So Declan's around right now. My morning streams are still going to be... Just can't be countered. They know about a bunch of cards in my hand. Just gonna let this happen. I'm really not a fan of the Through the Breach deck, so I've played these Kiki-Jiki style decks in the past in Modern and just like not been impressed, or like they've been fine. Like, I'm not a huge fan of any of these blue-red based combo decks. They always feel kind of clunky and a touch awkward. No, I'm just doing Modern this afternoon. We've been doing a lot of Legacy lately, and I've got a bunch of Modern backed up. Also, like, love or hate Modern, it's far more popular than Legacy, so I need to spend some time doing that to get that viewer count. Also, Modern's in a really good spot right now. Modern is in a really good spot right now. If I'm being honest, Legacy's kind of miserable at the moment. Just like mono Deathrite Shaman mush in every direction. Nah, I think I'm just going to be able to kill this Meddling Mage at some point. I'd rather have my Snapcaster Mage in my hand for when I kill the Meddling Mage. Like, the Meddling Mage is going to get off the table here at some point, and then I'll be able to play my Snapcaster Mage for actual value. Yeah, there's so many little things they could have done to make Deathrite Shaman like an actually balanced card in Eternal formats. Now, I don't know what format people are playing if they think Modern's not in a good spot right now. Like, I think Modern was shaping up to be in a great spot pre-unbannings, and post-unbannings I've just been enjoying it so much. There's just so much good stuff to do. Yeah, and like, so Deathrite Shaman mush decks were what's the word I'm searching for? They were oh, I'm blanking on it. They were 25% of day 2 of the open. They were 50% of the top 8. They were like 35% of Grixis was like 35% of the top 32. It was 25% of the classic top 16. Like, there's just so much of it. And I mean, like, again, we talk about that a lot, right? Like, that's one of the great things about Magic is that there's so many different formats, and the formats ebb and change, right? So, like, there are times when, like, I definitely prefer Legacy to Modern, and vice versa, back and forth, as, like, people figure things out and, like, know what's good and what's bad or not. We draw a Kite Sail Freebooter. Unbanned Mental Misstep. Oh, lordy. Like a main deck Campbell? What is going on? They just like floating mana for 2 different cards? Or just floating mana for 2 different cards, sure. So actually, a big part of what changed the format is actually the deck our opponent's playing right now. The Humans deck really pushed the format towards being more fair, when like one of the better decks in the format is a kind of fair interactive creature deck. The format tends to be more enjoyable in my experience. Reviling in something for 3. Huh, okay. Interesting. Oh, Malcontents. All right. That's Huh. I'm just going to terminate this in response to save myself some health here. So we'll take 3 here down to 5. This'll die. I can play this Pestermite out. And then we can snap Kolaghan's command to kill this next turn. We can start attacking with our 2-1. Doesn't really matter what I tap or whatever here. They don't have any cards in their hand. Yeah, and like again, like that's one of the things that's great about Modern, right? Like I think Humans is one of the best. You want more bar? All right, Dad's gonna run upstairs and get more bar. I think the Humans deck is very good, but I don't think it's like unbeatable compared to the rest of the format, right? Like it's still comparable in power level to most of the rest of what's going on. I'm gonna go get Declan some more snack. I'll be right back. I brought a box of the bars down, so we're prepared for next time. Should auto yield to these. Should have tapped City. Chat's right. I forgot that this is just whenever it becomes tapped. Yeah, you're right. Chat's right. 10 out of 10, super correct. Oh, this is funny. So I actually get to Kolaghan's command, shock this, make them discard, right? Get my Pestermite back. Nah, I'm just gonna. Am I? God, I hate these things. They're so annoying. Target player discards a card. Deal 2 damage to something. So I'm gonna do you. I almost feel like the Violon 4 is just to make me think about why there's a Violon 4. I mean, ultimately it probably doesn't matter, right? Like I've got 2, they've got 2 caverns, so like they lose a little bit of Trixies, but I don't know, we're probably winning this game. Every time I've played blue-white taking turns, it's been clunky and awkward and miserable. Just every time someone wins with that deck, I'm just like, all right, they must not have hit any aggressive decks or fast combo. Hey, Nova, with the $10 donation. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Adding democracy for the Just Kai Walkers. Thanks for the no BS content. Well, thanks for the support. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let's move the Just Kai Walkers deck up the queue here. That deck does look sweet, right? I'm excited to poke at that one. That actually moves it to the top of the Modern list. We have blue-white taking turns in the queue. I think it's a sweet deck, but every time I play it, I'm always just a little disappointed, it feels like. Yes, $1 is one point. Opt costs 2 because of Thalia. I can't opt into Kiki. Good question though. If I could cast Kiki, I agree I should opt first there. No worries. I guess I could have drawn Serum Visions, so like maybe that's a reason to have played the opt on my turn. Ooh. Ooh. We found a card that doesn't really matter because our opponent's gonna lose the game anyways. Ooh. Someone was talking about Pestermites versus Deceiver Exarch earlier, and like this is a good discussion of like why Pestermite's pretty reasonable, right? Like Exarch's useful holding down the board here, but like these Pestermites are gonna go the Deceiver without the Kiki. There's a lot of sweet things in the modern queue right now. There are a lot of awesome things we're gonna get to. We have a lot of good tools for this matchup, which is good because a lot of our counter magic's pretty clunky. These searches are probably clunky. This is definitely a matchup where these are good. How do we feel about Tasigur in this matchup, chat? Steam Vlogger with the bits. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. What's going on, Duke? I'm glad you enjoyed the YouTube stuff. So this card's really good at gumming up the ground, but it's really terrible against Reflector Mage, right? So like, am I supposed to leave these in? Yeah, Staticaster's fine. He can definitely come in. Do I want these Tasigurs in my deck? I think I'm gonna cut 1. I think I never want to draw 2. I think if I get stuck with 2 in my hand, I'm just gonna be super miserable. They might board out their mages. That's true. So I'm gonna leave 1 in. Yeah, I think I'm gonna split the just cowards split it. I think I'm just gonna, oh, it gets imaged. Well, image isn't very good against us. Image is pretty bad against us. I think maybe I want to cut some of these cantrips. I'm going to cut a Cryptic Command and an Opt, I think. So Cryptic's like okay. It's a little bit expensive, but especially when we have a combo kill in our deck, it's kind of appealing to have draws where we can just like Cryptic, tap, draw your team, draw Kiki, kill them. Now I think Gearhulk's pretty good. He comes up the ground and they don't want to Reflector Mage him. Obligatory chat surgical reference. It's the end. Seems to keep at 6. It's not an exciting keep, but it's a keep. I think I can afford to fetch Basic Island here since I have 2 red sources already in my hand. Ooh. Ooh, top. All right. Top. Sign me up. Must be Halloween, lots of candy. Alright, so we're going to 15 here. We're gonna bolt this guy now so there's no shenanigans. It feels a little bit bad to opt knowing I want the card on top of my deck, but I kind of just want to churn through cards right now and like get to more removal faster. Hopefully they can't play 2 humans this turn. What's going on, Justin? It's a Grixis Kiki control thing. I'm forming opinions the more we play it, but I'm gonna reserve them until the end when we finish playing. Don't have another 1-mana guy. Don't have another Noble Hierarch. Don't go. Jeez. Jeez. I think I need to keep this bolt, but this is gonna hurt. Maybe I'm just supposed to bottom looking for pushes and terminates. Maybe I'm just supposed to bottom looking for pushes and terminates. Down to 9 here. Well, I think I'm just supposed to cast this. And then if we hit a Sulfur Falls next turn, we can bolt plus K-Command to kill this, but looking pretty slim here. I suppose we could run off like some tap creatures into the Deceiver Exarch. All right, on to the third game on the plate. I'm happy with how we boarded. Just got a little bit out of range of our lightning bolts there. This is really close. I'm gonna keep it because we're on the play. I could see someone more disciplined than myself mulliganing this, but I think the opt means I can keep it. No. Definitely see this one going either way, though. Like, so one of the reasons why I want to keep this hand is the opt helps us find a removal spell, and if we find one removal spell, Snapcaster Mage means we get a second removal spell. Just all the tough choices. This is not two removal spells, but it's just so bad if they have a Mantis Rider. I'm gonna bottom this. I'm just looking for bolts. Even a Collective Brutality here is pretty okay. Thalia? Not Lieutenant. Yeah, not Lieutenant. Sweet. So because this is just Thalia, not Lieutenant, we can Collective Brutality to kill this champion of the parish, which is great. We can't snap Brutality next turn, but I think that's fine. Selfless Spirit. It's very interesting. Think of Wandering Fumarole as a creature land. Like, okay. So here's the thing about Wandering Fumarole. I think in just blue-red decks, you'd rather have Blood Moon than creature lands. And I think in 3-color decks, Wandering Fumarole is generally worse than like Creeping Tar Pits or Raging Ravines or whatever your secondary color is. All right, if they don't have a Dismember, we're gonna get to Splinter Twin them, chat. If they don't have a Dismember, we could Splinter Twin them. Yeah, hey, you know, get my opt, sure. Your move, Kaiba. Your move. They could Meddling Magus here. They could Meddling Magus here. They could Meddling Magus here, chat. They have 2 mana up. They can Dismember. Alrighty. Do you have a member over there, opponent? Well, they haven't played a land yet is the thing. Oh, geez, they're dead. Gotcha. Twin you. So we won 1 game as a control deck, and then we won 1 game as a combo deck. Exciting. Exciting. This is my freaky Kiki. There are many like him, but this one is mine. Freaky Kiki would like to target this one. I would like to diddle my Kiki. Good morning, afternoon, and good night to everyone wherever you're in the world. Thanks for hanging out here. If you're new, welcome. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream Magic on this channel. It's anywhere between 4 and 7 days a week. If you're enjoying what you see, please consider subscribing on Twitch. My subscribers are the reason I'm able to do this full time like I do. You can also support my content by supporting my sponsors, mtgotraders.com. We'd love to buy and sell Magic Online cards with you. If you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including CCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience. Using code Jeff12, you can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, bags, sweatshirts. They really do it all. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of artwork that they have on their website. And finally, this stream is made possible by viewers like Anaronix and you. If you're enjoying the stream, please hit that follow button at least. It doesn't cost you anything. It gives you notifications on when I go live and with what. My exact schedule is a little bit up in the air right now, so following is definitely the best way to know when I'm playing. Usually I do a few afternoons a week, but I also do random mornings and evenings and stuff as time permits. How old am I? I am 27. I am 27. I am an old man. An old, balding, fat man. What were our losses to? I don't know. I've blocked it out at this point. One was Jeskai Geist, but we kept like a double Serum Visions hand with one land, and Brickton died. And then we bricked and died against something else. Oh, like a Bant deck, I think. Spare deck went out of business. The 3-2 dream lives on. Ain't that the truth? Ugh. I'm gonna keep you with a scry. I'm gonna bottom that. Hey, X Comanova X with the 413 subscription. Thanks for sending your Amazon fun money this way again this month. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Am I going to play another league after this? That depends on how long this league takes. I will be back this afternoon about 3 o'clock. We're gonna do a long stream this evening, but I wanted to just do a short pop in for a short one since we have so many decks in the modern donation queue. I want to just plow through them, squeezing in extra streams wherever possible because we're treading water. Oh god, fucking Magic the Gathering, man. This card. What it tilts. I actually think this is one of the most offensive cards in Modern. I don't understand why this card is still legal. Just like, it's offensive for a lot of the same reasons Gataxian Probe is offensive. Hey, Cardboard Crackling with the 5-month resubscription. 5 months of dank memes and fantastic streams. Well, thanks for the continued support. I appreciate that. Gambling in Modern. I mean... Oh, they only have... Wait, what? They discarded a mountain, but they missed their... We're gonna lose anyways, aren't we? Right, I guess if we find our way to some diddlers, we could be okay and maybe combo. I just feel like that isn't practical and useful random login name. Like, playing random games with cards that are maybe too powerful doesn't really change anything. And like, I think there's more reason to ban cards than just because they're too powerful. Yeah, it's definitely a more powerful card. Gataxian Probe is a more powerful card, but I think they're both offensive for the same reasons. Like, they both were just super fucking dead here, right? I guess I'll bend this and show you I didn't draw a removal spell. Yeah, alright. Let's try again here. I am still planning to go to the team open. Anger is good. Logic Knot is not. Search is not. Spellbomb and Surgical are like kinda okay. Like, some of their draws these cards are really good against, and some of their draws they're super miserable. If we lose this match, I think I'm gonna play another league. We'll see. Seems pretty good. Kolaghan's Command and Terminate are both very reasonable here. Grab a Blood Crypt here. Maybe a Watery Grave, probably a Watery Grave. How's it going, Declan?
Where's he go? He's gone.
The goat choice are gone. You want to pick some goat choice? All right. All right, let's find you some Power Ranger choice. There you go. I wouldn't mind playing an aggressive deck. I don't think I want to play another deck. If I play a second deck, it's not going to be a deck that could potentially have a 2-hour league. So I don't think I'm going to play a control or mid-range deck if we play another one this morning. Iron, I'm going to be honest, Dredge is probably going to rot in there for a little while more. The last couple times we've played Dredge, it's been really terrible. And I just haven't enjoyed playing it. Yep. Do I want to terminate this hollowed one? I could kill it with K-Command next. I think I'd rather kill it with K-Command, right? I'd rather kill it with K-Command. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, so now we're just gonna go Shatter, Shock, and then during my opponent's draw step, I'm gonna Surgical their Bloodghast here. And we do this during their draw step because I want to give them a chance to draw Bloodghast. Like if they draw Bloodghast for their turn, we get to take it out of their hand. Their hand's pretty good here. They're going to get to go Gurmag into Flamewake this turn, huh? They brought in Leyline of the Void against me. That's interesting. I'll probably board a little bit differently for the third game. Blood Moon is good to know about. Yeah, so they can crack a fetch. Oh, I guess they can't bring the Flamewake back this turn, right? Oh, with Goblin Lore. Alright, that's pretty good. They lost a hollowed one there. That's good for us. So you have 2 birds in there, so we're definitely going to terminate this Dorko before they get to combat next turn. What do you think of Cryptic Unsummon this? Is that greedy? I could Snap Surgical too. I kind of want to just unsummon the Gurmag Angler, but like getting rid of the birds permanently is pretty appealing. Yeah, I think it's Terminate and then Snap Surgical Birds. I think that's the conservative play. And again, we're gonna play this Surgical during their draw step. So that way if they draw a bird, we have to take it out of their hand. Our life total is getting a little bit low here. Of course, they drew Blood Moon for the turn. That's fine. I didn't feel like playing more Magic anyways. Unearth was fine in 4-color control when I've played it in the past. Seems reasonable. Diddle this and enter combat here. We might just be able to rip Kiki or just tempo them out of this game, potentially. We draw like a lightning bolt, we're in a great spot. Blood Moon did make Kiki castable. We were almost there anyways, but yeah. Hey, hopefully rip a bolt or a freaky Kiki. It's definitely, I agree, it's certainly been a miserable league. I agree with that assessment. League has not been the best. Alright, I think we're in the market to trade a Snapcaster for a Flame Wake. Cometh at me, opponent. These things have Menace for some reason, so I have to double block here. Where's a goblin? He's always hiding when we got the red sources. I've actually really enjoyed Modern post-unbanning. Like the decks that the banned cards went into, like, generally create pretty quality sources of gameplay. Like what our opponent's doing, this is a pre-unbanning deck. Like this is a deck from the Pro Tour that's just like doing super obnoxious, like typical Modern degenerate things. Like, I'm glad that the unbannings have largely pushed the format, at least online, away from decks like what my opponent is playing. Like, I'd much rather be playing against decks like Jund and Jeskai and like these other decks that generate heavily interactive, longer games of Magic. I played a little bit, Eternal, the CCG. I played a little bit of that, if that's what you're referring to. Yeah, the same decks that were like miserable pre-bannings are still bad, are still good after, right? Like, yay, goblins. This is my goblin, my ugly goblin. You have a blood moon, so I can cast him. Do 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 do. All right, I'm gonna cut my cryptic commands against Blood Moon. Oh, Staticaster should be in my deck. This cleans up Bloodghast nicely. Put the Serum Visions back in. Put the Endured Explosives back in. I want these brutalities. Probably not. Probably not. I have a review for when I played Eternal. It's been a while. It's been over a year. This was the last time I played Eternal. This was the last time we played Eternal. God, this hand has so much upside. A more disciplined Magic player would mulligan this. I'm gonna keep. Yeah, this hand just like needs to draw some lands, right? It like answers most of the angles of attack that their deck has. Look, chat, you'll never lose a game because you mulligan to 5 if you always keep 7. That's just the truth. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying. Well, we can beat half their big things, Bob. Kolaghan's command shatters Hollowed One. Never forget, chat. I'm a goddamn professional. I mean, Blood Moon's always been a thing in Modern. That's not something recent. Like, Blood Moon's always been this obnoxious card that people play. You know what? I think I messed up here. I think I was supposed to lead on the Sulfur Falls, so I think this might want to fetch a basic. There's a chance it wants a basic swamp. There's a chance it wants a basic swamp. I think I should have led on this rather than this. I don't think so. And like this is like, so Flatty Ice, like our interaction right now is exactly why Wizards of the Coast hides all of the data. Like, Wizards of the Coast hides all of their data because, like, when you say there's too many Blood Moons and I say it feels like there's not enough, neither of us can objectively show that there are or aren't a lot of Blood Moons being played in Modern. And that's why Wizards of the Coast is a bunch of assholes and hides the data, because you can't show that their format is good or bad if you don't have data to show, like, the things that are good or bad are present or not. Hard cast Bloodghast. Yep, resolves. That's pretty good. I think I'm gonna fetch a basic island here. I think I want to play around Blood Moon a little bit. That's a great, if you all close your eyes, the format is exactly what you want it to be. Yep. A great way to put it. Keep us in the dark and feed us bullshit. Thanks for the bit, Steam Flogger. See, I'm just of the opinion that you should remove the things that create miserable games of Magic, and I think Blood Moon and Tronlands create miserable games of Magic, so I would be okay with both of those things going away. Wizards of the Coast doesn't share data because they think if you hide the data, it makes it harder to find the problems. It makes it harder to find the problems. Which you know, it does. Like, it does what they want it to do. This is not a babysitter stream, it's just Jake's at school. And Declan's usually pretty good on his own. I'm letting Declan play with YouTube on my cell phone, so he's being very quiet. Are we? I think we're snap opting here, Burgle. I agree. I think I'm snap, block the Bloodghast, surgical at post combat, or surgical inside of combat, and then cast my opt. I think that's my line. I agree that Ensnaring Bridge isn't to the degree that Blood Moon is, in my opinion, though. Like, the miserable part about Lantern Control isn't just the Ensnaring Bridge, it's the fact that Lantern Control removes your ability to answer the Ensnaring Bridge. Whereas in Modern, Blood Moon on its own removes your ability to answer Blood Moon. So, like, casting Blood Moon removes your opponent's ability to answer Blood Moon. It's basically what it comes down to. Yeah. Yeah, Blood Moon protects itself. So, one of the things I think is really, I disagree with, that I feel like is a popular opinion in the Magic community, is that I don't think that a solved format, yeah, that's exactly what Numba said here. A solved format doesn't equate to a bad format. Like, I think in a lot of people's minds, they have this idea that if a format is solved, then it is bad, where in my mind it's if a format has uninteresting dry gameplay that doesn't allow me to make a lot of choices or play fun decks, then the format is bad. So like, you could argue Modern is kind of a solved format. We know a bunch of decks that are playable, but there's just a lot of decks that are interesting and create diverse strategies, so like, the format's still fun. Modern's not fun because it's not solved. Modern's fun because it creates fun games of Magic. There are people, Blue-Black Mill is a fringe deck that consistently sees play in Modern. People play it. I'd rather play against 12 Post than Tron 2. 12 Post is much worse at playing Karn on turn 3, which is the most offensive thing you can be doing against mid-range decks in the format. Cloud Post gives you way more time to Fulminator Mage and Stone Rain than Tron does. Against Tron, Fulminator Mage is too slow on the draw. Against Cloud Post, Fulminator Mage on the draw is usually fine. Yeah, I agree, K-Stone. Completely agree. It's gonna be a delve threat. This is a delve threat. We could be in a little bit of trouble because I don't have a good answer to a delve threat. Yeah, I think there's probably good decks in Standard. Standard might be great right now. I just don't have the time or the drive to play Standard. Like, Modern's super popular, so people want to watch it. I'm enjoying playing Modern, so like, I don't really feel the need to pick up Standard right now. But I mean, like, those are decks that have always existed in the format. Like, outside of the Hallowed One deck that got introduced because new cards got printed, the decks that are good have been good for a while. You have multiple Hallowed Ones. Please only have two. Please only have two. Please only have two. Hey, Vezram with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thanks for sending your Amazon fun money this way this month. I really appreciate that. As always, subscriptions are the best way you can support what I do here. So we're gonna go Shatter Shock here. I'm gonna go Shatter you, Shock you, and then I'm gonna Surgical this Blood Gas before this Burning Inquiry happens. Yeah, I agree, Bob. Just so we don't lose these. Double Flame Wake Phoenix in hand. Alright, well, hopefully we keep this Snapcaster Mage so we get to Snap Surgical these Flame Wakes after they bin one here off this Inquiry. Sweet. Okay, so we lost the Anger, but we kept the K Command and the Surgical, so I think that's a W for us. How's Shady Grixis Twin doing? We're 1-2. But I think we might be winning this match. This is kind of close. This game could go either way, I feel like. We'll draw step this Snap Surgical, and then I have Pestermite and K Command to kind of like power through. We're actually in a pretty good spot here, right? I mean, Josh Stern was playing that, right? And he's probably one of the most experienced Burn players around. I'd always defer to people with more experience than me, so if more experienced Burn players are playing it, you should probably be doing it. Well, they didn't they didn't want to... Okay, so they missed 2 points of damage. So they should have attacked with the Bloodghast, right? They definitely missed damage that way. But I don't mind their sequencing much because they didn't want to... They wanted to play the Hallowed Ones before they Burning Inquiry, right? So Cloud Post is better at playing like 15 mana Eldrazi, but it's worse at playing Worm Coils and Karns on turn 3. You can learn about how donation deck lists work here. All the details are there. So again, I'm surgically during their draw step because if they draw Flamewake Phoenix for the turn, I get to take an extra card out of their hand this way. So once we take their Flamewakes out here, we just have to beat their Hallowed Ones and their Gurmag Anglers, since we've already taken their what's it called away. We've taken their Bloodghast away earlier this game. And I'm just going to go ahead and pay mana for the Surgical Extraction rather than dealing 2 to myself. Someday, maybe we'll live in a Moto world where I'm not constantly 5 minutes up on clock, even though I take breaks to feed Declan and I'm talking on stream. People play so obnoxiously slow. Burning Inquiry, Bolt, Street Wraith. Yeah, well, there go all of those. 2 Blood Moons. They boarded out a Leyline? The classic 2 Leyline post board? I think my favorite thing about playing Modern versus playing Legacy is that I get to auto pass in Modern. Like, having to bluff Daze and Force is so annoying. Just like, pass my auto pass hotkey. That's fair, Roderick. They probably don't have multiple servers. There's more latency from different parts of the world. You can auto pass, you just have to play bad decks. That's true, Bob. That's true. All the good decks you can't auto pass. Not bluffing Shoal. Oh no! Oh no! We should be bluffing Disrupting Shoal. If they bin our K command off this Burning Inquiry, we might feel bad, but we're still doing okay, right? Gosh, we drew a Terminate too. We have just all the angles covered now, right? Yeah, I agree with Bob there. Like, there are decks that have the requirements you're talking about that still aren't good against Blood Moon. Alright, so I'm going to Pestermite, untap a land, Kolaghan's Command, shatter this, rebuy my Snapcaster Mage. So, never forget your Pestermites and your Deceiver Exarch cost 2 mana when you need them to. Yep. But like, which is it? Like, now you're moving the goalposts, Zephoid. Like, first you say you have to play 6+ basics to be good against Blood Moon, but then we're like, well, there's these decks that play 6+ basics that aren't actually good against Blood Moon. You're like, well, those ones don't count. Those aren't the decks that we're talking about. So like, don't shift the goalpost on me just because like you made a point and then we're like, well, that point's not good because of these examples. Sweet. All right. This is my favorite. The 0-2 into 2-2 into the barely missed cash by 2-3ing. Feels like a setup for that. Feels like a setup for that. We played a teamer deck with Blood Moon Saturday night or Friday night. Check the YouTube. You can always find out what I've played recently by checking my YouTube channel. Timing people out who randomly think Blood Moon's a great card. My favorite hobby. It's my favorite hobby. We tried a teamer Tarmo Twinless with Eldritch Evolution in it, but I haven't gotten back to that archetype yet. That's definitely a deck I'd be willing to explore more. Wow, their hand is so bad, they're casting Burning Inquiry. Burning Inquiry is such an infuriating card. It's such an infuriating card. Alright, they still have nothing at least, I guess. Hey, Sittin' Duck 117 with the Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I do appreciate it. Thanks for introducing me to Spanish Inquisition. That deck's a hoot. I thoroughly enjoy the Spanish Inquisition. Nah, I think not giving you anything when you win less than half your matches is fine. I think expecting prizes for winning less than half your matches in something that's supposed to be competitive is unreasonable. Oh, you know what? This was a mistake. I should have played a fetch land because they can play second Ancient Tomb and turn 2 Thought Knot Seer me. God damn it. Oh, I hate everything about everything. I hate everything about everything. Yeah. Realized as soon as I clicked the island that, like, they were going to play a second Ancient Tomb and play a turn 2 Thought Knot Seer. Ah, basic island Terminate. Just, yeah, all right. Mistakes have been made, chat. Mistakes have been made. I don't know that Ancient Tomb should be modern legal, but I definitely could have positioned myself better this game. Definitely could be in it. Could be in a better spot. Definitely could be in a better spot if I'd have sequenced my lands differently. Or won the die roll, one of the two. Extras with the $20 donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go for another trip with UG Polymorph shenanigans. Yeah, 10 out of 10. In fact, I'm just gonna stop playing. I hate playing against Eldrazi-tron. It's really miserable. This deck, thoughts and opinions. The core of this deck is fine. It's like playing a bunch of like reasonable modern legal Magic cards. Just a couple of little things I would do differently at the very least. We talked about wanting Cascade bluffs at some point, so I definitely think I would cut one of these Sulfur Falls to play a Cascade bluffs. I think Logic Knot, Tasigur, Snapcaster Mage, Azcanta, I think this is too much stress on our discard pile in order to like really leverage all of these cards accordingly. So I think I would probably cut the Logic Knots. I would also be tempted to try Thought Scour over Serum Visions so we could have random turn 2 Tasigurs. So, I mean, we won what, 3 or 4 games off of Kiki combo in that league that we probably wouldn't have won otherwise. We actually we drew Torrential Gearhulk like once, so I don't know if this is good or not, but this is probably fine. I'd be inclined to, like, if you want these Torrential Gearhulks in your deck to like bring the curve down a little bit, like maybe trim a Cryptic Command and like only have 6 things that cost 5 or more. I think Gifts is much too cute. I think that's much too cute. Like really slow and clunky. Like I think this deck wants less expensive things, not more expensive things. I'm not sure that these Creeping Tar Pits are stellar. I'd be inclined to maybe want to try some fast lands in the deck, perhaps. Just like, again, we already have a lot of really powerful top end in the deck, so like having more Creeping Tar Pit while we go long doesn't sound super appealing. I went on late because I was going to play a league anyways, and I figured I might as well stream it. I was going to play a league anyways, I might as well stream it. Yeah, so I think that's my input. I would cut the logic dots. If you want some counter spells, some mana leaks are probably fine. Honestly, it might be worth considering playing another land. Like adding a Desolate Lighthouse as a 24th land might be fine too, just because like you want to cast these expensive spells on curve. And like, before anyone says it, yes, Desolate Lighthouse isn't a strict combo with Kiki-Jiki and Cryptic Command, but like, remember, we're not replacing a colored source with a Desolate Lighthouse. We'd be replacing a spell with Desolate Lighthouse, which I think makes it fine.